Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, and we're here with a very special episode of VSW Podcast. That's right, we're talking Vacationland Cup from Limitless, Maine. And right now, I am going to give Disable Wolf a call. We need to bring him into this conversation because you know what? He has a lot to say about it. So let's get Disable Wolf here. I'm going to give him a ring. He should be up. And then we're going to talk Limitless Wrestling. Hello? Wolf, are you there?
What's up?
Is that you, Disable
Hello?
Wolf?
Yes, it is Versace.
Okay, great. We are all set running this. I was just letting the fans know we are here. We are talking Vacationland Cup. Now, on the screen right now, the folks at home can see the brackets. We will get into that in just a little bit. But first, I want to talk about some of the other matches that are going to be taking place here and in Yarmouth, Maine, on August 28th.
Absolutely, Versace. It's going to be a great time. Limitless is going to bring it up. This is usually their version of Double or Nothing or WrestleMania or Wrestle Kingdom, whatever you want to call it. But I think we have two back-to-backs with this show leading up to the anniversary show since it's supposed to be their 5-year, but for obvious reasons they didn't have it last year. So I think we're going to be lucky and get two Big Four style shows in months.
Oh, yeah, I definitely do think so. I mean, the sky's the limit with Limitless, and that is it. There really is no limits. One of the first matches that were announced, and I was very excited to see on this card, is going to be Kevin Koo versus Brad Cashew.
This is a really great match for Sachi. This would be a great second match or opener. Both of these guys have something to prove. Neither one has been with Limitless for a while. With Kevin Koo, I think, was last seen during the road days, and Brad Cashew was in the debut, losing to Rip Bison, but he had a little bit of an attitude after and refused to shake Rip's hand. So who knows, both of these guys could use the absolute momentum heading into Yarmouth.
Definitely, and it's always interesting watching Brad Cashew fight outside of, as Chaz Cashew. You know, we saw him recently in NCW with the big boys, him and Ricky Smokes.
With Ricky Smokes.
And he does a little bit different here in Limitless, and I like it. I like, all of his variations. I've been a big Cashew fan since I first actually caught him at a show. And I want to say it was an NCW show. This was pre-pandemic. Maybe Aftermath. I don't really remember the name. There was a few shows he went to.
He's the chaotic New England champion as well.
He is. He has come a long way since I first saw him. And he does great work. And Kevin Koo is, an amazing fighter. We've seen him, come in and, do countless great matches. And to be honest, I think people kind of oversee how good of a wrestler he is.
Absolutely. I think, Kevin Koo was famously known for the team violences forever on MLW, but he's been going singles. We actually saw him at the IWTV 100 wrestle Matt Mikowski in what was a great striker grappling matchup. And
it was. So, I'm gonna be really interested in this match because both of them have different styles. It's not your typical grappler, striker kind of match. And to be honest, if I had to pick somebody in this, I am going to go with my man Cashew.
I think I'm going to agree with you for this one, Versace, because Kevin Koo might be just a one-time pickup, and Cashew is going places in New England slowly. We saw him in NCW's killing it and in Chaotic. So I think Limitless is going to want to capitalize on their momentum to get a big guy to be noticeable for Yarmouth, and I think Cashew is the future. I'm going to go with him in this matchup.
Very good. Okay, next up, this is probably going to be one of my favorite matches of the evening. I'm a tag team lover, but we have MSP versus Ava Everett and Charles Mason
versus the Sea Stars
versus Prestigious.
The Prestigious is in it, Versace?
Well, I mean, I see. This is what confuses me. I don't know if it's the Prestige or the Prestigious or just Prestigious because it's only two of them. It is only BRG and Thomas.
Channing Thomas.
Yep. Well, the man that, knocks on doors.
The man that secured Goldberg's door for Sach. Congratulations.
Exactly. I think he does the same role for John Alba, to be honest with you. I think that's where he learned it. He learned it from opening the door for John Alba. All those times in Florida.
You know how strict John Van Vliet... Oh, my God, I messed up his name. I mean Alba.
But, yeah, so any which way, I know you get excited every time I mention these guys to say, well, I know you're a big, prestigious fan. I know how much John Alba means to you in independent wrestling. But, this is going to be a great matchup. So you got them. They're an established tag team. You got the established tag team of the Sea Stars as well. But then you got, MSP, the Vibe. They're your veterans.
I'm excited.
We haven't really seen them do, much since they lost.
But Danger Kid actually posted on Twitter a few days ago. Their morale at Limitless is an all-time low. They actually missed the last two Limitlesses, one the typical Yarmouth and the house show in Harmon.
Well,
no tag titles.
Honestly, after Prestigious destroyed them in that trios match, wouldn't you want to kind of hide a little bit?
Yeah, I would. And they got away for a bit going to the Midwest.
Oh, they're coming back stronger and better than ever. Don't forget, we saw them up at We Are Wrestling. We saw them
against Besties in the World, which was one of the best matches of the night up there.
Exactly, and that was a dream match, and we covered that on We Are Wrestling recap, and and I've seen them personally also at a few other shows when we went out there. So I mean, they got the vibe. They're doing their thing, and it's a little bit different, but. It's quite amazing. I love it. I love the theme song. I'm all for it. You can see my TikTok I did of it. I love
drip.
I love to see these guys. I love checking them out and and having them after the show. Talking to them. They're really great people. Danger Kid and Aggro are really two great individuals in this sport. And if you're lucky enough to talk to them and be friends with them, you're blessed because they are really, really, really good people. And speaking of good people, let's talk about two very evil people. And that would be Ava Everett and Charles Mason. And that's the final tag team in this.
Doug would tell you all about it, Versace.
I mean, this is like something out of a horror show. You got an evil witch and a sadistic serial killer teaming up. And anything goes. We've seen...
And he tried to kill Becca in Yarmouth.
My God, he made Becca bleed. He dragged her. He mopped the floor with her face. He pulled her by her hair. He was vicious. We've seen how vicious Ava is. You've seen what she did to Love Doug after his match. So, I mean, these two are made for each other. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I don't know if they're made for tag team wrestling or even to be wrestling. They're going to do some serious damage and harm in this match to these guys.
I think they might do more harm before or after their match, to be honest with you, Versace. Because they have the momentum going into this match. Both are succeeding in their very evil ways in Limitless, Maine. And they're actually tagged, and they beat, I think, Davey and Becca on a road pay-per-view a few months ago.
Really now. So, I mean, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you got a lot of different styles. You got a lot of different veteran teams in here. I mean, you got the Sea Stars too. They're an incredible team. We've seen them and MSP give incredible matches. We've also seen them versus Prestigious. Didn't we on a pre-show at one point?
Yep, the pre-show main attraction challenge versus but the Sea Stars have kind of lost a lot of momentum, but we sponsored that and the Limitless returned back in patience, and we sponsored their 5-star match between them and the main event.
Oh my God! Talk about tag team wrestling at its finest. There is nothing better than those two. That was the greatest match one of the greatest matches I've ever witnessed in my life. I mean, they gave it their all, and the main event is another top tag team that we have seen in Limitless, as well as other promotions across New England, and even stepping outside of New England at this point now. As you know, we do cross over now into the Jersey-Philadelphia line where we cover our wrestling. But yeah, so I mean, this is a big tag team matchup. I feel like there's a lot of people that have to prove something here because of the way Daniel Garcia and Kevin Blackwood destroyed MSP for that one chance. That one chance
Randy,
to get tag titles.
If you're listening, please, whatever you do, book all 4 of these teams. If not, add 2 more. In your anniversary show, do a TLC match and have an inaugural tag titles.
I don't know about all that fun, Disabled Wolf, but it does sound fun. But when it comes to this match, I am going to say I have to go with Drip MSP. The vibe, I think, is going to have some redemption here in Limitless, and I think they're going to come back really strong and take this victory by any means possible. They're going to have to go to some new heights to fight off the evil Charles Mason and Ava Everett, but I think in the end, MSP will prevail.
I'm going to go with the safe pick because this team always plays fair or won't get distracted very easily out of all of these teams. These are the only people that are neutral of Limitless right now. And I would have to go with the Sea Stars because these girls, Ashley Vox, Demi Exo, they always deliver. And they're the ones that were really bad at MSP for losing that match. They're the ones who beat MSP in the last Pressure Point pay-per-view. So I think they're going to carry the momentum and challenge for those titles.
That very, very well could happen there, Disabled. Very well. This is a match I can't wait for. So you got these 2 matches. We have one more match in the main event that I will talk about later. But now let's get into the tournament.
We have one more match before the tournament, Versace.
What are you talking about? The outside of the championship match?
Yeah, we got this matchup handpicked by John Alba.
Oh yeah,
Davey
yeah. I forgot all about that one.
Davey Ann will go one-on-one with this person. Is Randy Carver always tries for the armor to switch between independent national icons. We had Jake Something at the first show. We had Dan Hawes in the last show. They had Matt Cross in the Harmon show, and they're picking up, if you watch Beyond's early days in GCW, formerly known as Alley Cat, you got Alley Catch.
Really? And she is going one-on-one against Davian. So that's who John Alba handpicked before his match with her.
Absolutely, Versace. And this isn't really about those 2 women, believe it or not. This is more of a storyline with the Prestigious and Davey Ann, because they've been harassing Davey for months now. Those crazy clowns.
Oh, they want to make Davey Ann
make her great
again. Yes.
And Davey Ann lost to Mac Daniels last time around.
Yeah, but then you saw what they did to poor Becca.
After Charles Mason nearly killed her.
They took advantage of the situation and forced her to give them their demands. I mean, you could have heard about it on our undeniable recap. They actually just aired that show on IWTV. I believe you can watch that right now. Look up Limitless, IWTV, Limitless, and go to Undeniable. You can catch all the action from that night with the return of Anthony Green. So, I mean, that was a crazy night for Limitless Wrestling.
Sach.
But,
well, let's face it. John Alba, if you're listening, main attraction, if you're listening, not only should you leave Davian alone, but we at the VSW are your quote-unquote only fans of the prestigious. Why don't we start a Patreon of the prestigious fan club run by yours truly, Disabled here?
That is not a bad idea, to be honest with you. You might be onto something, Disabled. But when it comes down to this, I don't care, Alley Catch, Alley Cat, Alley, whoever John Albert throws in front of her, I think Davey is going to destroy her.
There's no doubt Davey is all pissed off. But at the end of the day,
don't forget, whoever Davey beats is going to show some respect, and I think she'll be able to recruit maybe Alley Catch to join her, because you got to remember, it is a 4-on-4 matchup. I believe right now it is what, Davey and just Becca?
Well, she hasn't officially picked 3 other people yet. I think let's assume it's gonna be Becca for a sec.
Well, if we assume it's Becca, then maybe Alley Catch, if she beats her, maybe will join her.
Or maybe she recruits the Sea Stars.
That would be another choice too.
Because they've been best friends for years.
Well, they've also had some issues with Prestigious as well in the past. I mean, to be honest, I think they should, look a little out to the
or maybe
and recruit a favorite alien, perhaps. But that's.
I was just gonna say, speaking of Galaxy's Greatest Hits, maybe a couple of best friends. OC and Chris Statlander.
That could work. We saw them at the IWTV 100. They were better than ever. And who else, would be better to face somebody of, John Alba's caliber than Orange Cassidy himself?
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
That would be your dream match. You would, yeah. I don't even know. You would explode, Disabled.
I like both. I have a thing for people that make me laugh, whether it's Will's Talk, Love Doug, whether it's a guy we saw in Proving Ground, Tough Talk, Tony Spencer, Beef. I got a thing for people that make me laugh, Versace, heel or face.
Yes, you do. But in this matchup, I do think that Davey Ann will become victorious.
I absolutely agree, but I think it's a trap. I think that she'll try to shake Alley Cat's hand, and the Prestigious will come out after and try to attack Davey.
When is it not a trap with these guys? John Alba's got every trick in the book, and he's got them all in his sleeve at once. But that's why we like him, right? That's why we brought him on to the VSW podcast.
People don't realize what made the road very watchable was not only do we have dojo students, we had guys normally seen in lower tier indie promotions. You got even elite guys like Travis Huckabee or showing up in the road, and Matt Mikowski, guys that wrestle at higher up promotions around the country. And that's what made the road so great. But every cutscene that had nothing to do with a match, you always had John Albert and Mac Daniels, you know who it is, making us laugh all the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Put it to you this way, he ignores us. I know he's probably listening right now. We're like the Animaniacs, and he's Dr. Doofenshmirtz. We're always going to be one step ahead of him when he gets so frustrated.
You're always thinking of the cartoons to say, well, whether you're talking about Warner Brother freaking dancing frogs or you're thinking about Animaniacs, your head's always in the cartoon world. Boy, do we love you here
that
at
right,
the VSW.
Versace.
We sure love you here at the VSW and really appreciate all the hard work you do. We know that you have busy times ahead, but you've been on the road back and forth every day, giving it all you can for VSW. and football season is upon us. You're gonna be there
Whoop,
opening.
whoop.
You're gonna be there opening day to see the Patriots. While we at the rest of the VSW are gonna be at the H2O Center. We're going back to camp. That is right. We have a doubleheader to cover that night at that sweat box of the H2O Center, and we're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna bring a few other recruits from the VSW podcast with me, and you're gonna cover football.
What a day in paradise for Sach.
But that is all going to take place 1 week after we will be in Chicago, Disable Wolf.
Oh yeah! CM Punk. CM Punk.
As we go into AEW All Out and we watch all the magic that is going to unfold out there with the return of CM Punk, and who knows what other surprises are in store. Plus, we are checking out Black Label's and GCW's little mashup there of 3 Cup stuff. This should be a great night of wrestling. I even seen other shows out there with like Big Beef and Anthony Green. There's gonna be Effie's Big Gay Brunch. That's another great GCW show that gets put on. I mean, there's going to be so much action there, plus fan fest.
I am looking forward to going to my first GCW show.
It is going to be a great time, Disabled. But we still got to get through this weekend, and this weekend is just that. We got Friday night. You'll find the VSW podcast at Chaotic, and then Saturday you will find us at Vacationland Cup, which we will continue to talk about right now as we indulge into the tournament portion of this show.
Absolutely. So, how we're going to do the routine for Sach? I'm going to read out every entrant.
Well, I'm going to do it like this, my friend, because I have it. Let me just do it because I have it. I'm seeing what the fans at home are seeing, and they are seeing the same card that LImitless put out. So, if you just read it through these 4 ways, you can see you're going to have Anthony Green versus Kevin Blackwood. Now, granted, we're going to talk about each of these matches individually, but I'm just going to read them off first. We have Rip Bison versus Ace Romero. We have Becker versus JT Dunn. And then we have Alec Price versus Go For It.
Live
And, he was
and
the last
here's the
entrant.
thing, Versace. I want to read each of these entrants out one by one, give a description, then we'll go into the matches, shall we? This is how I want to do it.
Go for it.
So, the first entrant is someone who's the alternative, formerly known as the Uncle Jesse of Pro Wrestling, and formerly retro known as August Gray, which it is August, the legend, Anthony Green. You also got the Buffalo Boy himself, partners with the world champ Daniel Garcia. You got Kevin Blackwood. You got Limitless Maine, Sacco Maine, legend from the unit, from Impact, AC Baby, Ace Romero. And here you got Uncle Ripper himself, 80s style wrestler, badass. He's on the grind, if you know what I'm talking about, with his new promotion, Iron Rip Bison. You got the leader of the Scrunchy Squad, Becca. And you've got the savior of New England, J.T. Dunn. You also got the Price City OG, Alec Price. And here we go. Last not least, this man petitioned right outside the last show. This man is like the number 6 team seeded in the NCAA March Madness tournament, having a shot at it. It's like the Detroit Lions having a pathway to the Super Bowl, but it's not either one of those sports things. It's Now back to you, Versace.
What a lineup we have here. I mean, these 4 matches just to do the first round of the tournament is insane. And this is what Vacationland Cup is all about. The best of the best and who's going to be facing the champion at a further date. And, let's just jump right into it. We do have the alternative Anthony Green versus the Asiatic Crippler, Kevin Blackwood. Now, I've watched Blackwood in all sorts of promotions. I've watched him with, Garcia ringside. I've watched him without Garcia ringside. This guy is incredible. Okay, he is probably the number 2 right now in the country. He is number 2 probably in the country under Wheeler Yutter. He might even be better than Daniel Garcia if given the chance.
Maybe, trying to start some tension. You don't want to make Puff break him up.
Well, we got to talk realistically here. And he is he's a pick. He's a pick in this whole thing. He's one of the greatest wrestlers right now. Now, granted, he's facing one of the greatest wrestlers also, Anthony Green. What can't this guy do? We saw him, everywhere. We've seen him kill it in NCW when we first started watching independent wrestling. But, we've watched him,
Chaotic he's known for, too, Versace.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We've watched him dominate in
uncharted territory and beyond.
Uncharted territory. Okay, Dojo Wars. We can go back a little bit. Beyond, when we saw him there. LImitless. He was their champion, before he was picked up. And, he was with Evolve, too. Before Evolve got bought out and he was picked up, he was LImitless World Champion. He never lost that title. He gave it up. He put it down. He laid it down on the road. And that's what made last year's Vacationland Cup so special. The winner of that Vacationland Cup was the champion. Now, as you know, Christian Casanova won that. But this year, I think Anthony Green has something to prove here. He doesn't, he never lost. He by rights, I don't know. We saw what happened with his last match. He was kind of robbed with.
He was about to beat Garcia till the ref got knocked, till Greenleaf hurt his leg, and you got Blackwood, who wasn't supposed to be at ringside, run in.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and this match is very personal now because of that. We almost saw Anthony Green reclaim his championship at that last show at Undeniable. So now, this is really in a real tough predicament. It's very hard for me to call who is going to win this match. In one instance, I can say, the better wrestler. Hard to say. They both are on top of their game right now. I've seen them both, like I said, all over the place from Jersey down to Florida. It's just insane what these guys are capable of doing. This could be a main event in any other in any other pay-per-view.
I honestly think this is going to open the show.
It probably will, and that's what LImitless does. They open
match,
bangers.
J.D. Drake and Kevin Blackwood put on nearly a 5-star classic to open the show.
He did, and so like I said, I think, if I have to go with somebody here on this, if Garcia can get into it, obviously Blackwood can get the victory. If Blackwood can't get into it, if Garcia can't get down there and Green can just dominate and take him out, then it's going to be Green going into it.
But here's the thing, Versace, about all this. If they were doing it like divisional standings, whether it's college basketball, whether it's the NBA or NHL with the 1 versus 8 seed in the conferences, I honestly think you would have had Anthony as number 1, most likely to win, and you would have had Love Dog as the number 8, least likely to win, and the most underdog. But here, I would pick Blackwood to go far in this tournament if he wasn't facing AG.
I am going to have to go. Well, here's the thing. I don't know. I can go with many different variations of what I think is going to happen with this. Let me go with my conspiracy theorist thought, okay?
All right.
I'll go with my conspiracy theorist thought, and I'll tell you why at the end of this. It's
Okay,
not
it's
really
not political,
when I
right?
call no, it's not political, but it's just my far out there thought. I'm gonna go with AG Anthony Green winning this.
I'm gonna go with AG2 for this match.
Okay. Now, you got the next matchup. We got Rip Bison. We saw him in that brutal competition strap match with Big Beef.
They nearly killed each other with those steel chairs,
They
Versace.
did. And you got, AC Baby, Ace Romero, and this guy, he put on a 5-star match with Eddie Edwards.
With Eddie Edwards.
It was an amazing time.
They were fighting in the stands.
Oh, they fought all over that arena. We were there.
Those chops were heard round the world.
You were on that side where they were fighting. I was on the other side.
Absolutely. So this is probably like the toughest first round matchup to pick out of all of them. This is my opinion, because either one of those guys can easily represent the face of Limitless right now.
I think it's gonna be AC Baby, Ace Romero.
I think I'm gonna go with the Ripper, Rip Bison. Here's my thoughts: is because he's got a promotion coming up in Pro Wrestling Grind. Give him a follow. It's him and Delmi XO's promotion of the Sea Stars, and they're going to try to bring so many international people from around the world and local favorites too. And you got Rip wanting to be an example for this. He spent a lot of money on the ring and everything, and he's been motivated. He's been working out like crazy. He has that huge win over Big Beef. And I honestly think that AC's really good, but I have a theory for why he's going to lose that match.
And I have a theory why he's going to win. But that's great.
All right.
Next up, we got, the leader of the Scrungy Squad. We saw her bleed. We saw what she's capable of. She can fight with the best of them. She's one hell of, a wrestler, and she's wicked strong. She has one of the meanest super kicks, and she just keeps adding move after move to her arsenal of moves. But she's fighting.
And she even pulled a Britt Baker last show when she faced Charles Mason. She nearly survived the stabbing leader of the Scrunchy Squad.
Oh yeah, but she's facing the savior of the pro wrestling himself. Mr. JT Dunn. There's nothing that JT can't do. He's the greatest. He's the greatest thing in New England right now.
And he's a big-time veteran with many years of experience, too.
He's
become very wise. He's a badass. I think he's became straight edge, too.
He's
been doing really
good. He's very good at what he does. He is dominant. And he can do, like I said, he can just do anything in pro wrestling. He's my pick to actually take this match.
I absolutely agree. For me, besides the AG, it's one of the easiest matchups to pick. So I think I'm going to go with JT Dunn, especially with Becca all caught up in the Davey Ann, John Albert drama. I think Dunn's going to win this match. It won't be easy, but I think it will be a very great match, and I am really looking forward to this intergender match.
And then we have one of my favorite matches, and this one could be, a 5-star banger. But you're going to have Love Doug.
Yes.
Versing
the prize OG Alec Price.
Now,
this is a tough one for us, Versace, because these are the two wrestlers who really love VSW.
Okay, this is just like the first match I had to try to choose, between AG and Kevin Blackwood. That's like choosing between Hogan and Macho Man in WrestleMania 5 or the Ultimate Warrior and Hogan in 6. It's very hard, okay? And the same thing with Love Doug and Alec Price. Yes, one's lovable and one maybe hates everybody, but to me, I love them both. They're both great. I am going to go with something strange here, and I'm going to say Love Doug wins this by disqualification. I think that Ava Everett interferes. I think it backfires, and I think it pushes Love Doug forward.
Well, here's the thing. If Randy Carver was smart, he would go with this idea, and hear me out, Versace. the prize OG has gotten frustrated during the pandemic days because he was on Vacation Land Cup last year, and ever since that cup, he's been opening each match, each pay-per-view Limitless had during the pandemic days, and he really wants to move up from that. And he had his big-time breakout performance ripped away from him when he was supposed to face Mr. Tiger-style Lee Moriarty, but it was JT Dunn instead. And he was supposed to face Matt Cross in the house show, too. And I really think if he was smart, he needs a much-needed face turn because Prize OG comes from nothing. He does a really great job. He's a great high flyer. I love his OG kicks to the back of the head as his finisher. And he really appreciates a VSW, too. I know a lot of people love Alec or hate him. But, like, he's Alec. Like, he doesn't care if he's liked or hated. But I think he needs to go on the side away from, because he's a heel in, like, every other promotion he's in. And it will build sympathy for the crowd to use the fact that he missed out on 2 breakout matches and losing to Love Dog by disqualification will really help him out long term, I think.
He will. And I think Love Dog needs to be into the Fatal 4-Way with his 2 best friends from the unit, JT Dunn and AC Romero, because they just love to torture this kid every promotion he's in.
But Love Dog loves him like he used to love Ava.
But they love to play with him. I mean, look at how they played with him at NCW's Big City Rumble.
But it was Love Dog who got the last laugh.
Dunn, but it was Love Dog that got the last laugh. And now that would put another veteran in the game, and that would be Anthony Green in there. So you would have Anthony Green, Love Dug, JT Dunn, and AC Romero all in there fighting. I think they would gang up on Love Dug for a while until Anthony Green would come in and help him out. It would be almost like a 2-on-2 match.
Because this is going to become a fatal 4-way elimination match.
That's what I'm saying. This is how it's going to be, and these guys are going to be fighting out. But I think, the unit's going to team up. There's no doubt. Everybody's going to put their faith maybe inside of JT. Help him.
And here's the thing, Versace. Before I give away my prediction for this, I'd rather talk about the Limitless World title after we announce Randy Carver's going to want, if you have a perfect bracket, you'll be eligible to win a Limitless merch prize pack, which I really want, and I know for sure you want, Versace. So how about we announce our 4 picks to announce, and then we announce who wins after we cover the Limitless World titles match. How's that sound, Versace?
We can. I mean, like I said, this would be my conspiracy theorist, but if I was to say how things would go and if they were doing that storyline, it would be JT Dunn probably winning the whole thing. But like I said now, that's if I want to go in that route. And that's my far out route. Now, my much more down to earth route is going to be a little bit different. And that's going to be going with Blackwood actually beating Anthony Green. AC Romero still going over Rip. JT.
I honestly think besides Love Dug's the so obvious sleeper route, I would have to go with Blackwood as the next sleeper if you don't count Love Dug.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, it can be either one. I don't know. I mean, as who I think's going to win the whole thing, it still comes down to possibly the same person, though.
Yeah, I agree. I have legit, I think, 3 people that are going to realistically win it, and I'll get to it after the match.
Then you got the main event now. You got the main event, and that is, it's the second time this match has happened, but it is the blue-collar badass JT Drake versus
the Wingman.
The Red Death, Daniel Garcia. Blackwood is banned from the ring. And if JD Drake loses, he can't even challenge for that title ever again.
It's kind of like something similar with Cody Rhodes in the AEW versus Jericho at Full Gear a few years ago, and it's kind of like Drew McIntyre with Bobby Lashley, that if he loses, he can't challenge as long as Lashley's the champion for WWE. This is like as long as Garcia's the champion, JD Drake will not be able to challenge if he loses.
No, I know exactly. Now, let me tell you something. I mean, we've watched Garcia. He's one of the best in the world. He's probably number 3. I still think Blackwood is better.
Dude, he got the main event at NHL and NBA style arena in the United Center this past Friday night. Kudos to him with 2.0 and a huge storyline with Darby Allin and Jon Moxley
not
now.
Not to mention what we saw him do in the H2O Center against Wheeler Yuta. Okay, that's why I say he's number, but he lost. He lost that match, so he's probably number 3 because I do still believe that Kevin Blackwood is number 2. I still think if you had him, I think Blackwood versus Yuta would be an unbelievable match. That's just my opinion. But yeah, so but you know you got Garcia there. He is a tremendous wrestler, but I mean now. J.D. Drake was in inches of winning it before Blackwood interfered. Blackwood gone, J.D. Drake's open season. You know,
and I think Daniel Garcia might become full-time in AEW. If he main evented an NBA and NHL arena, that shows you how much Tony Khan has faith in Red Death. He's been a tremendous champion.
Everybody has faith in Red Death. I mean, ever since he beat... we saw what he could do before the pandemic. We saw what he did in Vacationland. You know, we saw what he did, but when, you know, that match that he gave, that 5-star match, might I add, against Casanova, where he claimed the title and he won it, you know, since that day, he has been nothing but the most respectful, limitless champion ever, honestly. He comes, he does his job, he shows up, he defends it to whoever that they choose for him, whether it is, you know, Jake something, or it's Anthony Green, or whoever it might be, Alec Price and AC Romero. It doesn't matter. He shows up, you know, and he always has respect for the game. You can see it just by the way he enters the ring. Great respect. And, you know, the sky's the limit for that kid. So, at the end of the day, I think that J.D. Drake is going to win the title. I think he's going to beat Daniel Garcia. I think he's going to get the revenge he needs. I think he's going to beat him. And I think the curse of the Limitless title is going to move on. And I think Garcia is going to AEW. That's just my opinion. I don't know if it's happened. I have no insider knowledge. AEW is not like WWE. You know, I don't get leaks. I don't get people telling me what's going on. And neither do I ask, and nor do I want to know. I like to be surprised like everybody else.
That's the thing I love about AEW. We all knew CM Punk was going to go, but because of the past and how they refused to leak anything, it still gave you that surprise feel-good moment that's been missing in wrestling for a long time with the internet and the dirt sheets around.
Exactly. So, I mean... It will be good, and like I said, so I mean, I have J.D. Drake as the new Limitless champion.
I honestly think that either two things happen. J.D. Drake wins and becomes the new champion, because face it, you're away from that crazy guy Peter Avalon, you can do anything.
Oh, very true.
I know, especially since he ain't reading books anymore.
Nope, no more librarian work for him.
And you got Wish Ziggler, Ryan Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's younger brother, and Cesar, and it's kind of like Ilya from the indie scene in New England in a way. So you got J.D. Drake without all those distractions. And he's really good in Limitless. It's great in AEW too, don't get me wrong, but as the blue-collar badass and his somersault move and his old-school Haas style, I think he's going to get the upper hand of Garcia, especially without Blackwood in the corner. Because like you said, I think he'll be full-time in AEW. That's my guess. And J.D. Drake will be able to be a temporary champion for this sets up a face winning, really sets up my prediction for Vacationland Cup. And I'll tell you why when we talk about we reveal our first 4 picks. You reveal your 4 winners, and I reveal mine, and then I'll reveal what I think's going to happen in the Fatal 4-Way match, shall we?
Let's go right now. Yep, go for it. I'm going to go with
All right.
Anthony Green, AC Romero, JT Dunn, and Love Doug.
Okay, here's my picks. The easiest pick for me, Anthony Green, and another JT Dunn, and Rick Bison, and I'm going to go with the Price City OG, Alec Price, because I think someone will screw Love Doug and he'll win it. Or he loses and Love Doug wins by disqualification. I don't think that match is going to end clean. I don't.
Not with Dave Everett in the building, no. It probably will not. That's why I'm saying it depends on the ref. If the ref catches whatever Everett does, it's going to be Love Doug moving. The reason I'm going with Love Doug is, I mean, he did campaign pretty hard to be on this. He went through a lot of loops and bounds. He got a lot of people to sign up. I think he's going to come to try to win this thing. He also, honestly, and it'll just go back to who I think wins.
And the reason why I go, because Anthony Green's probably the easiest pick for me to decide to win. And JT Dunn, for obvious reasons, we covered that. But the real reason why I went with Alec Price, because the kid has a ton to prove. He got screwed out of the world title in the triple threat match against Garcia, thanks to and AC Romero, but he was inches away from winning. And he wanted to move up from the first match on the card. He was going to have 2 big opportunities ripped away from him, and I think he's going to use that to really beat Love Doug. That's me. But I'll let you know why I chose Rick Bison. I did because he'll be super motivated with all the stuff going on. And then here's my reason. I think that JT Dunn's gonna win this whole match, and the people in Maine are gonna see the unit for the first time.
I
think AC
that
turns
is my
heel.
pick too. I believe that JT Dunn is going to be the champion. I believe AC is going to team up with them. I believe they're going to squash Love Doug. And then I think they're going to move on to AG. And they're going to dominate like they dominated across New England time in and time again. Who knows, even if we don't even see Trigger OG show up from the crowd or even from the back. These guys move in numbers.
Because Randy's going to have to book a cliffhanger, because I assume they're going to really need to sell even more tickets for the anniversary show. So, and here's how I think the Fatal 4-Way is going to go. I think Price is going to be the first one eliminated out of the 4 picks I have, leading to, I think the shocker, you're going to go with AG getting eliminated the 3rd time. And here's why. You're going to have Rip Bison and JT Dunn as your final 2. And Rip's probably going to want some kind of screw job finish to get people to want to go buy tickets to his new promotion, Pro Wrestling Grind. And you're going to have JT Dunn realign with the unit and AC Romero heel turn.
Yes. But at the end of the day, AC is turning heel. I believe he will team up with JT Dunn. But like I said, I'm going to go with, instead of torturing their old friend Alec Price, I think they're going to go and torture their other friend, Love Doug. Although, this could all change after Friday night. Who knows? Who knows what they do to Love Doug Friday night in Chaotic. If he even can make it to Maine. The unit is ruthless. If they even feel threatened that Love Doug could even win this thing, they'll take him out the day before.
I think it will make Ava very angry because she wants to do it more than JT Dunn, but that's me.
I don't know. Maybe Ava joins them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
or maybe
That's
Call
another
me
thing,
crazy,
that we could
Versace.
see here. Look, this is another thing that we could see here. We could see a triple heel turn. If Love Doug is in the fatal four way, maybe Anthony Green does have Ava ever come out and help him with Love Doug. She was a former Platinum Honey back in his retrosexual Anthony Green days. So who knows what we could see here out of any of these guys. They're all hungry for this title. They all want it, and I think they're going to be going after it against JD Drake. And whoever gets that match is going to be one hell of a match at whatever show they decide to do it at. I don't know if that's going to be the reunion show main event or if they wait a show and then do it. I don't know.
But I'm really excited for this anniversary show. I think I have a clue when the date is, but I'm not going to reveal it because I don't want to upset Randy. I think it will be in September, but that's all I'm going to give away. But
I don't know. I mean, I would hope so. I don't know. I know they're done with tapings. Thank God. I love their tapings, but come on now. I love live crowds.
But they're the only company out of all the indie New England
companies. The rest of the year. I mean, you got to remember they had a whole thing going on before the pandemic, and all that has been scrapped away. You could read about it, a little bit about it in the history about what was going to happen in that Michael Labbe book, which I'll be sure to be bringing with me to the Vacationland Cup because I definitely want some signatures this time around on it. Anybody I can get, actually. I love the signatures on the book. That's a great read.
And how ironic.
Every night.
Our ticket stubs are Love Doug and AG, respectfully.
They are, and those are two of my favorite wrestlers in this industry, And I can tell you that with facts. AG, is one of the people that really brought me to the independent scene. He made me fall in love with the independent scene. He turned me on.
Well, I was hooked because I used to be a Full House fan when I was younger. And I saw him in the shirt saying he's the Uncle Jesse of professional wrestling in his real old days.
No, but honestly,
have mercy.
Honestly, though, Disable, if I mean it, during the pandemic, it was tough for everybody. I didn't really have much to do. I got into independent wrestling. I started talking to a few guys here and there. AG was one of the people I talked to, and I bought a few merch items on him, and I saw how people were struggling. I bought a few of his other merch items, and then I went in and I saw an auction, and me and him kind of talked a little bit, and I kind of followed some of his matches, and then I asked him, I believe, for the best 5 matches he ever did on YouTube, and he gave me a great list of matches, and he turned me on to all new promotions, different independent wrestlers, people. He was doing t-shirts himself every day, and that turned me into wanting to do it myself. I would buy the shirt he was buying. I would also buy shirts, that of randoms. I just wanted to help the independent wrestlers, and he really helped me jumpstart that kind of. His attitude in the beginning of the pandemic really helped me with that. And I was so happy again when I saw him get picked up by WWE when Evolve got bought out. I wasn't happy about Evolve. I loved Evolve. We happened to be at the last show ever.
I still couldn't believe it.
But after that, I saw him when he was over there, and I watched 205 live every night. I never watched 205 in my life, but I started to watch August Gray.
Before the pandemic, when they had it after SmackDown, this was before SmackDown was Friday nights on Fox, people would always leave after SmackDown, not even stick around for it. But AG got me to watch some of it.
I watched 205 live every week after, I wouldn't watch even SmackDown, but I would watch the 205 live just to watch AG. Anything, for AG. And, when I heard the news of the release, I was really, really sad for him. I was happy for New England. We're going to get a legend back. We're going to get great matches, some more dream matches.
And it'll be even better than ever. He's improved so much in the ring.
Because I know deep down that was his dream. If you watch his movie that he has on IWTV that Henry Aaron made, with him It talks about how he was a fan and faking until he made it or something like that. It talks about his life story and how he wanted, he was a fan and he wanted to be on the big stage. And, he got there. He got there. And there's a little bump in the road. But you know what's great about AG? He can take all of that. He'll learn from it. He'll absorb it. He'll listen to everything that he learned at the performance center. He'll take every match that he had and he'll learn something from it, and he's gonna apply it, and he's gonna come back stronger than ever. The alternative is just the beginning, and he is gonna take it to the next level. And you won't be surprised to see him again in WWE. Maybe in a year or two. I wouldn't be surprised at all. After working more, they probably gave him a list of things. Maybe even they were like, try doing this, that, and this, X, Y, Z, B. And we'll be watching, and who knows, but AG knows what he's doing. I have utmost faith in him. He's going to go very far in this industry. He's still very young. He's very talented, and he's got a really good grasp on things. He's had some great matches already since being back. That one with Rob Killjoy was a dream match.
Oh, that was amazing. This is where you could tell he was in the performance center.
At Violence and Suffering was a dream match. Him versus Daniel Garcia at Undeniable was a dream match. So I'm very happy that he is back. And my other favorite wrestler, Love Doug, he is one of the people, again, during the pandemic that I got to fall in love with, and it made me love independent wrestling even more. We had a very serious thing going on with the pandemic. It was very stressful. A lot of anxiety around it. As you know, I got sick.
I did too.
You did. My kid, my dad, elderly, people around us. It was very scary times. It still kind of is. But there was people out there like Love Doug that were making us laugh, entertaining us, and giving us great wrestling. Love Doug was one of them, and he's one of the people that I really fell hard for. Him, Becker, Armani Chaos, a few other of those, New England Pro Academy wrestlers. They're just really great. And they really took advantage of character, promos, and everything during the pandemic to really make their characters shine. Love Doug did it especially. Becca did it. And like I said, Higher Society did it. But Love Doug did a great job interacting, doing everything. Even for this show, he put so much effort in Undeniable and trying to get his name on the ballot. He was out there, asking for signatures all day long. That's a long time. He wasn't even on the show, and he's out there.
Absolutely, he drove that.
And he always goes out
far
there,
drive.
no matter what. He's had a lot of heartbreaks, whether it be on the road or not. He's only had a few successful victories. But guess what? He still goes out there. He still gives it 110%. He still keeps loving, and he never gives up. That's why Love Doug is one of my favorites. So you got two of my favorites. You're right. We got very lucky with those tickets. Hopefully we can get them to sign. Each one of them will sign their ticket respectively. That would be great. And
that would be awesome, Versace.
And like I said, if you don't already own it, pick up that the first 5 years book and get some of these guys to sign it. Because who knows? Like you said, they're gonna be all on TV soon. Probably they'll all be in WWE, AEW, and who knows what other promotions across the country as things are opening back up. And these guys are just killing the business. Limitless always puts on a great show. Randy Carver Jr. is one of my favorite promoters across the country. Like I said, out of all the shows that I've been to, every time I walk in there, it is always fun. It's always family, feels like, and I just have a great time. The Yarmouth location is very nice, and I really can't wait to see what they have in store for us for this VLC, because last year's was in pandemic era, and it was, in front of no audience. There was no crowd. So when Christian Casanova won that title, he didn't get the fans to pop. It was similar to how WWE champions won. There was no fan pop. Same thing when Garcia won. There was no fan pop. You had the people that watched the show, but those were, other wrestlers. So this will be interesting to see whoever wins this, and getting their time to shine with fans is going to be amazing. I can't wait to really see what we have in store for us this Saturday. And I think we have lost the Saberwolf, but that's great. Like I said, this is going to be a great time Saturday at Vacationland Cup 2021. Not going to want to miss it. So check it out. We will be there live checking out all the action. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Versace Stoner